Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and I'm so glad to be live with you today. On this video tutorial, we're going to make some fabulous, super affordable, super easy lavender sachets. You can do this in absolutely any shape you like. I'm going to give you all the tips from start to finish, give you some ideas that maybe you hadn't considered, and anyways, it should be really fun. So let me start at the beginning. Last week, I fiddled around and I made these two heart-shaped lavender sachets that have just some lace and buttons and doodads on them. Gave one of these to one of my close friends, okay? This week, I've just been fooling around and I made these. And oh my gosh, I have to tell you, they turned out so much cuter than I even thought they possibly could. And they smell so good. So good. I'm going to be giving these away probably over the weekend. Anyways, this is where we're headed. I'll give you the measurements, the ingredients, all of that. Aren't those just absolutely adorable? So this is where we're going. But honestly, you can do this project in any shape, any size that you like. The main ingredient, as usual, I love this stuff. How could I possibly craft if I didn't have canvas duck? The main ingredient is canvas duck that we're going to rip because I want the fringy edges. We're going to be using some lavender flower buds. These I actually picked up at my favorite local antique mall, which is called Queen of Hearts here in Alpharetta, Georgia. And they smell so good. But I did find these on Amazon. So I would be glad to give you my Amazon link if you would like that, so that you can go look and get some of them. Okay, so we'll be using that. And then, I know this is going to sound really weird, but this is what I found when I was looking online. We're going to use some rice. I don't suppose it matters what kind of rice this is you use. This is long grain. You're not cooking it or getting it wet or anything. It kind of gives your sachet some weight and substance, and it makes it so you don't have to use quite so much of your lavender. I'm putting both of these in this little bag here so I don't spill them everywhere. So we'll be using those. I have a variety, I have a variety of ribbon. Again, you could do absolutely any color that you might want. I have some miscellaneous little lavender colored flowers, some pretty vintage mother of pearl buttons, and my handy dandy hot glue gun. Okay, so to decorate the canvas duck, what I did yesterday, so it would have plenty of time to dry, is I stenciled my canvas duck, and I used this gorgeous new stencil design from Magnolia. It's called Herb Pattern. And there's no lavender on here, but it really gives the overall feeling of lavender because of the color of ink that I use. Excuse me, I think I may have put it away. I did. Let me show you. This is the ink that I used on this stencil on some plain canvas duck, and it's called Amethyst Orchid. It's from MagnoliaDIY.com. I think that plus this sort of pattern makes you think, lavender, and it goes perfectly for this project. So I did that yesterday, so it would be all ready to go. I also was fooling around just with black, and I'll make something with this other piece of fabric, but oh my gosh, this is so fabulous, isn't it? I'm just in a really purpley mood. Okay, so that's what this includes, and let's start at the beginning. You can make your sachets any size, any shape that you want. For this first one, it's a square. It's 5 by 5. This one I ripped a little bit longer, and it's 5 inches wide by about 5.5 inches long. No, almost 6 inches long. So let's make another that's about this size. And I just did one piece of fabric and then a pouch that I glued on. So let's do that. And if you, let's see, where do I want to start? If you have not ripped canvas deck before, you are really missing out because there is something so oddly satisfying about it. Okay, so I'm going to rip my piece about 5 inches wide. And I'm just putting the little piece of, this is what I made yesterday. This is going to become our pocket. Oh, and did I tell you that it's just little bits and pieces of purples and green stuff that I had in my box of florals. So I took a little snip. And this is what I've got right here. Every time I do that, it helps you to have straight lines. And then this fringe on the edges, I think, is fabulous. So let's just pull off some of these excess strings. Other people don't necessarily pull all their strings off, but I generally do. Ah, thank you, Opal. I'm glad to be back because if you're watching live in February of 2025, I had a little spill on the hardwood floors, and I think I sprained, strained, or tore my hamstring, and it really immobilized me. Okay, I wish I had thought to iron this, but we're going to live with this even though it has a little wrinkle. And we'll just start with the other side. So I want the two ends of my pouch to be fringy, so I'll go ahead and tear that off. Excuse me. All right, and then I'm going to measure 12 inches. So it's going to be 5 inches wide by 12 inches long. I'm also just getting over influenza A from January, so I'm just a mess, I tell you what. Okay, so I'm going to do this about 12 inches long. Sorry. Okay, this is going to form the pouch. And again, it could be absolutely whatever size or shape you want. I'm just going here for a squarish rectangle. Okay, so I have this all ready to go. And this is going to be the top. Let me just get this top here fringed a little bit better. All right. And I'm going to start out by gluing the sides together so you can see what it looks like. It's just a rectangle. You don't have to make, if you're doing this, you don't have to do these exact measurements. Deb says you've had a rough winter. Boy, I sure have. I don't know what the deal is with me, but it has been rough. And let me tell you one really sad fact, and then we'll get back to this craft. So this happened on Super Bowl Sunday that I fell. And that was coincidentally also the day that my husband was going to California on business for an important set of meetings, and he had already left. So I have been kind of dealing with myself. Yes, my glue gun is on. I'm using my Sherwonder Cool Shot, and it's plenty hot. I did remember to turn it on. And I'm just going to glue the sides together. Let's see. What is going on here? We're leaving the top open. So what I love about this project is, number one, it smells so yummy. Number two, you can whip these out like crazy. Number three, it's a handmade little gift that you could give just about anyone in your life. It'd be, it's a great friend gift. It would be a great little Easter gift, a great little Mother's Day gift, and you can put your own spin on it. So easy. Okay, so here's my little pouch, all right? And I have the top open. Let's put our little pocket on the front. And this is a piece that I tore off of this. You know, one thing, if you've ever watched this page before, DiyDreaming, one thing that I really love is making my own custom fabric using stencils, permanent ink, and canvas duck. So, if you missed the beginning, I made this yesterday. It's all fully dry. I heat set it with a hot iron. It's ready to go. It's not going to ever be washed, but if it got wet, I don't know how that would impact the rice or the lavender, but it's completely safe and good to go. So I have this little pocket all ready, and I am going to glue it at the bottom of our little pouch. And I'm just trying to decide, what do I want to have be my front? I think I'll do this side. This is what we're going to tuck our little flowers into, and we're going to glue a little bow and some buttons on it too. And I'm leaving this top open here so that it can hold the little bits of flowers. Okay, I think everything makes perfect sense. What size is the pocket? That's a great question. It is roughly 5 inches wide to match the width of this little strip that we glued together to fill with our lavender and rice mixture. So it's roughly 5 inches wide. It's actually a little bit more than 5 inches wide. And this particular one, this particular one is about 4.5 inches long. It honestly does not matter at all. Okay, so I have been just working on, you know, how do you do this without creating a huge mess? First of all, where is my scoop? Let me just see. Okay, well, I don't know where my scoop went. Anyways, I added equal parts of rice. It's just white rice, not cooked, from the grocery store. Equal parts of that to equal parts of this lavender flower, what are these called? Flower buds. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And I put it in a separate little bag so it would be easy to mix it up. You could do this in a bowl too. So it's equal. 1 scoop, whatever size that is, of lavender to 1 scoop of rice. And we're just going to pour that into this pouch, glue it shut, then we'll make a cute little bow, and we'll add some buttons and add some flowers. And so just to be clear, it's going inside the larger pouch, not inside the front pocket. And this canvas duck is very, very thick, which I think is important. That's why I think you couldn't use just cotton or muslin or something. You want it to be really thick and pretty stiff. Hey Janice, I'm doing better, thank you. The fabric strings might make a cute nest. Oh my goodness, that is brilliant. I will fish them out of my garbage can here. And then you can fill your pouch really as full or not as you want. I don't know how many cups were in this Ziploc bag. I'm sorry. Just all I know really is that it was equal amounts of rice to the lavender. Okay, and now I'm going to glue this shut. Oh gosh, look at me. So here is our little sachet that we're going to doll up now. And I didn't have a lot of purple ribbon. This was about the only one that was suitable. So I opted to use some of this, some strips of canvas duck, and some lace. And on this one right here, if you look close, I had a strip of canvas duck that was part that I had stenciled, and I used that too on one of the top layers. So let me just figure out how big do I want this to be. We'll do it about this big. I'll tell you what size it is, but again, you know, this is all just eyeballing. I'm going to dovetail these ends. You can make your bow really thick, lots of layers or not. It's completely up to you. Okay, so that's the first layer. And when I do things like this, everybody has their own name. I just call mine a stacked messy bow. And I like to just do a teeny little dollop of hot glue in the center to hold them in place. Let me find some strips. I never throw anything away, so I know I have, but I want thinner. Okay, this will work. We'll put it in the back. So I'm gonna just this in half, fringe the ends by pulling some of the strings out. Oh my gosh, okay, Lynn says yes. The strings as a nest in the front pocket with a little bird. That's an adorable idea. I usually have to practice whatever it is I'm gonna show a couple of times to make sure it's going to work, and I haven't done that yet, so I won't do that today, but I love that idea that you two came up with. So let's do a crisscross on these, and then I'll stack this other piece right here. Okay, and then let's use a little bit of lace. These colors are so pretty together. Okay. So crisscross, crisscross. And there's glue strings everywhere. Gosh, I get so sick of those. Okay, then I'm going to use a zip tie to scrunch it all together. And the last time I was at Dollar Tree, I found this. Because before I had been using these gigantic zip ties. unfortunately, most of these are not clear, but there are a few clears in here. So let me fish out one that's clear. There we go. And this is going to kind of cinch it all up. However you want to make a bow, or you could completely skip this if you're not a bow kind of person. You could sew these also. I always get that question. Why didn't you sew it? Well, I have a sewing machine and I know how to sew. Not great, but good enough. But the thing is, not everybody does. So that's why I almost always show my crafts made with hot glue. Because then pretty much anyone who has a hot glue gun, and most crafters do, can do the project. Okay. And I was digging through my box of buttons, and I had somewhere I bought all these teeny little purpley opalescent mother of pearl things, and so I fished some of those out in a couple different sizes, and I'm going to put one right here. And I'm going to put a second layer on top of it. One of these. I have so many ideas for lavender sachets. So, if you want to craft along with me this spring, you should see if you can get your hands on some lavender flower buds. That's what they're called. Beverly says she's so glad I better just don't overdo it. You know what? I may have already overdone it. I know I look terrible, but I had to go to the grocery store. Because, I mean, did I remember milk? Shoot, I don't think I did. At least I have creamer for the coffee. I needed a few things desperately. So I did run to the grocery store. And then I'm going to get in my recliner chair with a heating pad, which is what the doctor told me to do, and I'm going to chill for the rest of the day. Okay, I'm going to just glue this onto this corner, and I can come back later and adjust how long any of the little bits are if I feel like they're too long. Like maybe the strips of canvas duck are a little bit long. Anyways. Okay, then the next thing is to create some kind of little floral thing to tuck in the pocket. And I just used little bits of some of the little flowers that you can get at Dollar Tree. And this is one of my favorites. Anytime I ever see this, it is kind of like a lavender looking plant. Anytime I see this, I always grab it. So let's use some wire cutters to clip this into a couple of pieces. Here's one. You can skip this if you don't want flowers tucked into the front. Or if you have some better lavenderish-y looking purpley flowers, you could use that too. I'm just cutting some of these leaves that want to cover everything up off of this. We need one more. Let's use this, but let me cut part of it. I always tend to go with 3, 5, 7, or 9 odd numbers. Okay, so here's what I want to know while you're waiting for me to get moving. Have you ever grown lavender in your yard? And what tips or tricks do you have? I tried several years ago with no luck. I'm also going to add a couple little pieces of greenery. This came off of a swag or something that I've had hanging out a million years. I tried a couple years ago to grow lavender in our yard, and it lingered for a while before it finally died. So I want, oh, here's a piece that I should have used. Oh well, I'll put that back in my bag and I can use it on a future project. So I'm going to plant some this summer. Okay, and then I'm going to put my florals in the opposite side of where I put the bow. And I'm going to just sort of tuck these in with a little bit of hot glue just to hold them in place. I don't want to glue my pouch shut there, so you have to kind of pay attention to that. Okay, so there's the back layer. And then let's put this taller one in here. There's nothing at all specific about how you do that. I will come back and glue those in. I'm going to leave this pouch here on the front open though, in case I want to switch it for something else. But that is essentially it. Super easy. I used that stencil, this one, which is new. It's available at magnoliadiy.com. It's called Herb Pattern, and I have a direct link all ready to go. So say herbs or link or supplies or something like that in the comments and I'll get it for you. I also linked this amethyst orchid ink because that's what I used to make my fabric that I used to then create the pocket. And although these are not lavender plants, they do give the distinct impression of that. I think they turned out super cute. I also think that these, where are they? Here's one. That these are pretty darn cute too, although they're much plainer. These are just heart-shaped pieces of canvas stacked strips of lace and buttons, filled with the same mixture, which is equal parts of white rice with dried lavender flower. What are these things called again? Lavender flower buds. And this is the brand, Sonoma Lavender. But you can use whatever brand that you have or do your own thing if you have that. Now I need to clean up my desk. If you have questions, let me know. Deb says she can't wait to try it. You know, when I gave my friend, Regina, the day that we went to our other friend's grave, when I gave her one of these, she loved it. And it was this style. So I just think these make such a considerate little gift. They cost pennies to put together, you know, under $1 for sure. And you can swap out whatever you like. It doesn't have to be canvas duck. It doesn't have to be lace. It doesn't have to be vintage mother of pearl buttons. So do it how you like it. This is just what I ended up with. And where did I purchase the lavender? I got mine, Mary Jo, and thank you for that idea earlier of making the nest out of the strings. I will definitely fish these out of my garbage can and see what I can come up with. I got my lavender at my favorite antique mall here in my little city, but I found it at Amazon. So anyone who wants a link to my Amazon, it's the same brand, same description. Just let me know and I'll get that for you. It would be a beautiful pin. Thank you. So, the stencil, the ink came from MagnoliaDIY.com. The lavender came from, you would order it on Amazon unless you have access to it somewhere else. The rice came from the grocery store. The little purple flowers and greenery came from Dollar Tree. The canvas deck fabric came from the fabric store, and it's the thickest that you can get. Who knows where this ribbon came from? It's been kicking around here in my craft room for years. They'd be great for Easter. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was also thinking Mother's Day. So if you're having a family get together and you want something for mom, sister, aunt, grandma, guests, you could whip out 5 or 10 of these in no time at all. And if you decide to do it with this purple herb pattern, one go could make a lot of little pockets for the front of some sachet pouches. Alrighty, have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much for joining me. Do this or this as a heart. If you liked this idea, feel free to sprinkle